So this is episode 1 of the TISA household. We just talk about what random stuff.
Just random shit. We're here on the couch, and whatever pops up in our mind, we record.
So this stuff usually happens around 12 o'clock at night when my brain kicks in, and definitely this man's as well.
About 80% there. It kicks in at 1 for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we were discussing about...
I come early.
You do. Okay.
So today, we have these discussions which take us into the early hours of the morning.
Yes.
And today we had, what did you say?
It was an interesting
We were talking about the Philippines.
What were we saying? First of all, you were... Oh man, no, you're gonna edit this anyway, right? Depending on how we do it.
Yeah. But I mean, you said something, right? So
we're also going to show how we improve.
We improve it. Okay, cool.
So one of the things that you mentioned
organic
today,
food. Oh, McDonald's. That's the topic. So people in Philippines, specifically in the provincial areas, the province, can't afford McDonald's. They can't afford meat.
Yeah.
And yet, when you go there and visit them, they are, well, it seems to me anyway, they are healthier and happier.
Yeah, that's true.
And generally better, well, some of them look better too, like better looking.
Yeah, because I guess even like older people, right?
That's right.
Yeah, like my ex who I went to the Philippines with, I spent some time in the province as well. So, like when I look at people in, say, Manila, which is very much the same as like Australia.
Yes.
And, you know, they're living a first world lifestyle and that sort of thing. And fast food is like a luxury. If you can afford fast food, if you can afford KFC, Jollibee, Hungry Jack's,
you're living the fast life. You're living the dream, basically.
And you're somebody cool.
Yes, somebody cool.
Right? And then when you go to the province,
yes,
where people tend to have a simpler life. So to give you an example of what the province looks like, the province is, we call it the province, but the province is, how would you explain the province?
I would explain it as some a place with very minimal, it's not a big city or anything. I can imagine farmland, lots of grass, and there's no shopping centers.
It's like a village, and most people are rice farmers or
that's right.
Corn farmers.
That's right, and majority of the people that live there aren't really well off. Otherwise, they'd be in Manila, living the dream.
Yeah, that's right.
So these are the guys that wish that they could go to McDonald's and all these other westernized establishments like that, fast food joints.
But what we've realized when we were just talking now is that when I was in the province, my ex, her uncle was about 60 years old, and they had an incident. I don't know if I told you this.
Oh no, you did not.
They had an incident where the grandfather, who was 92, mind you, and he lived most of his life as a rice farmer on the farm, and what he did was, so he had a stroke.
Oh. And
during the monsoon and the wet season.
Yeah.
So Jen's uncle, Tito Uli is what we call him.
Tito Uli.
It was pouring rain. Yes. At 60 years old, he carried his father on his back.
Jeez.
From the house, from the provincial house. And you got to realize, pouring rain, it's at night, he's barefoot, he's walking through the mud.
Because they didn't have any ambulances.
Through the putik. Through the mud.
Putik, which is mud in Filipino.
He's walking through the mud.
Yes.
He walked through a river.
Yes.
With this guy on his back. And then...
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Wow. So, a 60-year-old man, right?
Why? Because they didn't have ambulances, right?
They didn't have roads.
They didn't have roads either.
They don't have roads because it's in the province.
So now you kind of get the picture of what a province area would be. So it's very limited means and very limited in resources. Just the bare minimum to survive. So this is, what would you call something that's not the city yet? Well,
like a village almost.
Like a village.
It's a village. So So anyway, he gets to the road. He has to pretty much walk 2 Ks with this guy on his back to get to the road. And then from the road, he's got I think he had a carabao, which is a water buffalo.
Yes.
which allowed him to take them to the nearest kind of
My
small
God, that
stop.
is awesome, man.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
not so awesome when his father's got a stroke, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
But I guess what I'm trying to say is that at 60 years old,
this guy can move.
He had the power to pick up his grandfather 2.5 Ks to get to the actual...
And yet, actually, this is interesting. Statistically, they said the standard of living in America have dropped down so that the state of which someone dies, what's the word for it? You know, when someone passes away, is the median number is like 65.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
so,
and those people, when you look at them, they've got heart disease, hypertension, high blood pressure, diabetes.
Really bad. It relates to food.
Yeah.
You know, like diet, poor choice in diet, obesity. That's why there's an epidemic now in America.
So this
but you don't get that in the village.
No, this guy Tito Uli. So how I know what got me was that. What do you say of a grandfather?
Lolo.
Lolo. So Jen's Lolo. His name's Caesar. Really powerful name. At 93 years old, before the stroke, he was cutting bananas down. Still like he was slower.
With a special knife, we call it itak.
Yeah, that's it.
Right?
Yeah, so he's cutting that, right? At 92, so before the stroke kind of happened. So what I'm saying is he was healthy all the way till 92.
That's a great way to die, you know?
Yeah, well, he didn't die.
And he didn't even die.
He didn't die. He went to hospital and he recovered. So what he grew up on, going back to food, this guy... He grew up on gulai, which is vegetables.
Vegetables. So majority is vegetables, right? Because they can't afford meat.
Couldn't afford meat.
Meat is prime.
They eat whatever is there.
It's there, which is basically what we would call organic here in the Western world.
All organic.
It's all organic. They don't know this, right? No. They don't market it as organic. It's just the stuff that grows from the trees.
And also most of the vegetables, it's changing now, which is a bit sad, but...
Oh, is it?
Yeah, most of the vegetables is not genetically modified because it actually grows better in the region.
Yeah.
And I asked them, I said, because he started growing this Monsanto rice, and I was asking him, well, how come you're growing this rice versus native rice?
Right.
He goes, well, this rice gives me higher yield. I'm like, okay, and this rice I can sell in the market.
And Monsanto is GMO, is it? Genetically modified.
Yes, but the thing about that rice, even though it's higher yield, and they sell it in the market, which is what people want, when there's locusts and pests, he has to use more pesticide with the Monsanto.
Oh, of course.
Whereas the native rice, lower yield, but
less pesticide because
pesticide.
It grows there. It's local, right?
And I was like, this is ridiculous because. He actually was happy because now he's dependent on Monsanto, whereas before he was cool with the native rice.
So it's about money again.
It's about money again.
It goes back to money. It's similar to, I remember reading a forum post about this lady who grew up in the Philippines, in the province as well. And she was telling a story of which she remembers very succinctly that people used to not drink any soft drinks at all. They used to have coconut. Coconut juice, you know, that was their drink. You could just go into the palenque or to the corner shop, and no, not necessarily, not just climb a tree, but you can actually purchase this from stores.
All right.
But nowadays, you go into a small shop, like a corner shop. There's lots of them scattered all over the Philippines. What they would do is that instead of pouring coconut juice, they would give them soft drinks.
Right.
Because it's Americanized. Right. And when America came over and tried to westernize them, they said that coconut is actually high in saturated fat. And all this crap that they bombarded to make it seem like, oh, this is not good, high in cholesterol, this and this. But instead, try our sugar water instead. That's when the health started declining.
And then you got sucrose in the water versus fructose. And fructose is not bad for you.
Oh, really? Fructose is not bad.
Fructose sugar is metabolized by the body easier than sucrose.
So high fructose corn syrup, that's the...
I don't know.
That's the bad one.
That's concentrated, right?
That's concentrated,
so I don't know how that works. But definitely if it's naturally occurring sugar, like the sugar in a banana, the sugar in a watermelon.
Which is fructose?
That's fructose.
Okay, I gotcha.
That should be fine. It's still high in sugar, but it should be fine. But when you have like processed sugar, white sugar, It's bad. Like they say, the 4 poisons, right? White sugar.
White sugar. Of course, it's all sugars, isn't it?
White salt.
Oh, salt too.
Yeah. Flour.
Jeez. Flour.
And there's another one.
Wheat.
And white milk.
Milk. Yeah.
Milk.
Yeah.
So all the 4
That's
white
another
poisons.
story. The dairy.
Yeah.
God.
We won't get.
But I
it,
guess
yeah.
our what we were trying to get at is on the other side of the world, where there's the rich Western people, how do we call them, the top 1%, they wouldn't be caught dead in McDonald's, right?
Yes, yes.
They would opt for organic food.
Yes.
They would be, statistically,
They
say they're vegan as well, and mostly
generally.
vegetables, and they do all this yoga
And
stuff.
that's big in Hollywood, right?
And it's big in Hollywood.
Yep.
Kim Kardashian and all those
All of
people,
them.
they're all doing it.
Yep.
Yet, the people living in the province do it by nature anyway.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
And and they don't even know what they've got.
They don't know what they've got. That's the point here.
Yeah.
This is the reason.
Yeah. They don't know what they've got.
And I guess that's how we should end it. They don't know what they got.
Yeah. You don't know what you've got till it's gone.
Till it's gone.
So we got to look after our health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Till next time.
Till next time, guys.